The AUM Library is a cooperating collection for the Foundation Center. The nearest Foundation Center regional office is in Atlanta, so some of you may have access to that. The Foundation Center has two different databases, one for searching for funding from foundations and one for individuals. Unfortunately, you have to be in one of the cooperating collections to access those databases. However, there is some free information on the Foundation Center's website that you can access, and I'm going to show you how to get into that. If you start from the AUM Library's homepage and then down close to the bottom, click on the link for Foundation Center. And that will eventually, see if we can get it up here, the LibGuide that I did for the Foundation Center that just gives an introduction to the cooperating collection here at AUM, information about the Foundation Center databases, the Directory Online Professional, and the Grants to Individuals, which you will actually have to be in the library to use. Down below that first box in the middle are three links. The first one, Foundation Finder, and that one, let me click on that. With that, you can, if you're looking for information about a very specific foundation, or if you want to, let's say, look for foundations in a location, and let's just try Atlanta, and that will give you a list of all of those foundations in Atlanta. You can click on one of the links there and it gives you the very basic information, the contact information, type of grant maker, a little bit of a description of the organization. If they do have a website, there's a link to the website so you can get in to get more information. And then down at the bottom, there are links to their 990s. Those 990s are that's information that the organization has to submit to the IRS, and we'll talk a little bit about that in just a moment. The next link back on the LibGuide is the 990 Finder, and again, these are reports that the foundations need to submit to the IRS. Now, again, you can search either by a specific organization, you can search by a state, zip code, employee number, or by the fiscal year. And let's search Alabama, and actually we'll just search for those 990s that show up in Alabama. And what we're looking for is both the 990s and the 990 PFs. Those 990 PFs relate to private foundations. So what we've got listed here are the organizations, the fiscal year, the total assets, the form, the length of that, and you'll notice that some of these are fairly lengthy forms. The next step is just to click on the organization name, and that will open up the 990. These are in PDF format, and the use for these is going to be the list of organizations that the foundation has given funding to, and for a lot of them that's going to be close to the end of the 990, so you'll just have to scroll through and find that list of organizations. Now going back to the guide, that last link, search requests for proposals, those are also known as RFPs. You can either enter a search term here, that's information in, and view the RFP listings. Now the requests for proposals are what foundations or grant makers put out about funding that they have available, and it's a good idea to keep track of these. It's being a little bit slow. Once we get to this list, there is a drop-down menu where you can go in and click on a specific subject, which is really the easiest way. If you want to go into that's information, just go in through the drop-down browse by subject box, and that will get you to a list of any RFPs that relate to education. And again, we're being a little bit slow here. And let's take a look at the first one here, teaching tolerance. Once you click on the link there, it gets you into additional information about the organization, the RFP, and then down below there is a link to the complete RFP. So that's going to take you into the Southern Poverty Law Center's Teaching Tolerance program with information about that particular funding opportunity. And the next thing we're going to take a look at is the Foundation Center News tab, and I would suggest that you actually subscribe to the ones here that relate to what you're doing your research on. The Education Funding Watch gives you information about organizations that are funding projects, the kind of projects in education that are actually being funded. So it can be a very useful site for you to go into. I've already also got the Philanthropy News Digest news alerts. I have an RSS feed set up here. You can go in with that view website link to get to each issue of the P&D, and that's the short for Philanthropy News Digest. I get that by email. I have an email set up to come in whenever they publish this. It's about once a week. Now, for those of you who are in Atlanta, the closest Foundation Center regional office is in Atlanta. They do various training programs that you might be interested in going into. They have computers there that you can use, and also a print library that you might be interested in checking out.